love does sit at the very center of the universe. Love does form the very foundation of reality. Love really is everything. That is true. But not because we feel it, not because we experience it, not because we like it. It gives us warm fuzzies or we prefer it. Not because we define it or think it's best. Not because the Beatles sang about it or romantic movies celebrate it. Love is the greatest thing because that's who God is. Love is the greatest thing precisely because we didn't make it up. Love is the greatest thing because self-giving love exists at the very center of the eternal triune Godhead, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, who created the reality in which we live and experience love. Let me remind you of where love comes from with some basic Christian theology. The Trinity. As revealed throughout the scriptures and confessed by the historic and universal church, is the belief that the one true God exists in an eternal relationship of three co-equal persons, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We just confessed it when we said together the Nicene Creed. And this is essential doctrine. The Trinity is not some theological oddity or some weird math trick Christians like to play. You know, add something weird to their thoughts about God. No. Rather, the Trinity, God as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, expresses the very essence of who God is as a communion of loving persons. And that relationality is woven into the very fabric of the universe that this triune God made. And the human persons that this triune God created in his own image. Without the Trinity, you don't have creation. You don't have salvation. You don't have life. You don't have humans, and you do not have love. It's common for many people to affirm that God is love, picking up on that most excellent line from 1 John 4:8. But the only reason God is love is because God is triune. If God were not triune, he could not be love as a state of being. For there would have been a time when this God would have been terribly lonely and would have had no one to love. Thankfully, that's not the case. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit have for eternity enjoyed a relationship of love so that we can say with confidence that God really is love. Not just that God is loving, for there was never a time when love did not exist. There was never a moment when someone was not giving of themselves to another. There was never a time when one person was not serving another person, was not delighting in another's uniqueness. For there has never been a moment when the Son was not loved by the Father, and the Father was not loved by the Son, and the Spirit did not bind them all together in love, as the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit delighted in each other, with each other, and for each other. Love is eternal because the eternal God is love.